Hernandez. Great ace from Alexis Mattel. Otten throws it down. What a play by Amanda Otten. Qureshi is rejected by Alexis Mattel. Blocked by Andrews and Maswapchik. Hovey into the crowd. Set goes to BG. And the Falcons, the Cardiac Birds have done it. Bowling Green takes it in 3 sets. Bring out the brooms, because that's a sweep for the Falcons. Welcome back to the Stroh Center, the second game of the National Invitational Volleyball Championship with Bowling Green State University under the coaching of Daniela Tomic. They are facing off today against Wright State, an earlier in this season opponent, now Travers Green, playing the Falcons for the second time in this season. The Falcons had a 4-set win over Wright State, and they look to get another one in this game to advance in the NIVC, the postseason tournament. Ben Korak here with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Chaz, should be exciting, if anything like the Binghamton game yesterday, and we're looking for the same result as well.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that, Ben. I mean, you look at that game against Binghamton, Bowling Green started slow, so did the Bearcats, but at the end of the day, both teams really stepped on the gas. It was a good back-and-forth match. Falcons take it in 4, and now Wright State, familiar opponent like you mentioned, that now they're on your home court. They're going to be a little bit upset after you beat them in the Invitational in Dayton. I was going to attempt the full name. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save you there. But this is a matchup that, I mean, I'm kind of shocked because we mentioned last night that Binghamton's path was very similar to Bowling Green's to get in the NIVC. It's carbon copy, cut and paste with Wright State as well. Number 1 seed. They finished with the exact same conference record. Both teams went 16-2 in their conferences. Lose in the semifinal round after hosting their conference tournament. And now here they are facing off against each other with the chance to keep their season going.
Wright State, a 24-6 overall team, like you mentioned, 16-2 in the conference. One of those 6 overall losses for Wright State does come to the Falcons. A pretty good day for Bowling Green down there after they had the unfortunate loss to Dayton, but Dayton at the time was the number 22 team in the country in that invitational, so a pretty solid invitational for the Falcons as they took the game against Wright State and the game against University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The Falcons had a very good game yesterday. We'll unpack that a little bit right now. We saw some different things. One of the main ones, or pretty much the only one, as we'll see again today, is Sydney Hernandez as the libero for the Falcons, with Lindsay LaPinta out for injury. So we can only assume that her career in the orange and brown is done. She's going to have to sit on the bench today. Looked like she took a little bit of our mentorship role over Hernandez yesterday on some of the things Hernandez did, but Sydney played very well in the game yesterday in her first game as the libero.
Yeah, you're right about that, Ben. You look at her stats yesterday, and coming in kind of your first time in that, and I get libero defensive specialist, they're obviously essentially the same position, but still, she put up a very good stat. She had 13 digs, and in your first appearance, that's very solid.
Very solid outing by Sydney Hernandez. Coach Del Piombo, after the game was over in our interview, said Sydney's a very consistent player, not a lot of ups and downs. Said she wasn't even nervous for this game. It was her first with that spotlight of the libero position, and she capitalized on it very well. The Falcons did kind of what they did all season in that they diversified the ball. A lot of different players got a pretty good amount of offensive chances. Mia Tyler led with 14 kills on 30 attempts. Jordan Newblatt she was third with 10 kills on 28 attempts. Lauren Hovey was 11 kills on 30 attempts. And then a couple of other Falcons had 6+, including Amanda Otten, who had 38 total assists with her 6 kills on 10 attempts. She didn't run as an offensive player really yesterday, but that dump into the donut is so effective for her. Just so much offense being spread around for the Falcons. They're continuing that in this NIVC, early in this NIVC.
Yeah, Ben, I was really shocked and excited by the seniors specifically. You mentioned a couple of those names. Mia Tyler, she had a massive game. Jordan Newblatt coming in, she was third in kills, but still, she had a big game. Alexis Mattel, a little uncharacteristic. She had 3 errors, the most she's had in over a year. But besides that, she stepped up in the offensive game as well. And we know that towards the end of the season, the Falcons have started to lean on their middles a little bit more. And I think the most exciting part of the NIVC is we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain of next season. Jessica Andrews has been stepping up as the more offensive face for the middle blockers. We're seeing Sydney Hernandez in that libero role with Avery Anders, the primary DS. There's a lot to look forward to, and obviously besides losses that are currently on the floor like Mattil, Tyler, and Newblatt, this team is going to be pretty much the same.
This is a little bit of a foreshadowing, almost like a preseason game for what we're going to see next season. But again, you have to get through Wright State and advance in this tournament and hopefully go as far as you can and improve your resume going into the next season and impress some people over in the NCAA as well. Yesterday, the Falcons beat Binghamton in a 4-set match. They only dropped the third set. That was a come-from-behind, really fought hard set for Binghamton. They were no slouch of a team. They gave the Falcons all they could handle, but the Falcons won in 4. Now they play Wright State today, and then if they win this game, they play either DePaul Toledo or Omaha Lindenwood. We still don't know about that, but the Falcons had the first game of the NIVC yesterday, the only Wednesday game. They kicked it off with a victory, so a good start for the Falcons. They have a chance to advance. This Wright State team, Chaz, is very impressive. They spread the ball around a lot, kind of like the Falcons do. They have 3 players with 300+ kills. They are in a little bit of a weaker conference. The Horizon League isn't necessarily the best league in the NCAA, but still some very good performances. They do have key wins over Ohio State, which the Falcons lost to, Ohio, which is in the same conference as the MAC, and Ohio played pretty well against the Falcons. Buffalo played very well against the Falcons, but ended up getting swept. And then a number 20 Miami win in the same invitational that they had the Ohio State win. Some pretty big games for Wright State coming out of those 7- and 9-game win streaks to end the season.
Yeah, you're right about that. Wright State is one of those teams that you cannot overlook. And, I mean, despite losses to MAC teams, Bowling Green obviously following them in the past, this is a team that still has a lot to prove. That's something that this tournament does bring out of players is this team is pretty old. They've got a good mix of players, but a lot of their key players, Sam Ott, you go down a little bit farther, you've got Hausler. They're all either grad students or seniors in a retrospect. It's kind of similar to what we're seeing with Bowling Green, the last breath. And I think throughout the regular season for Wright State, they have those wins to back up the fact that they're going to play to the bitter end. They've had bad situations go right for them just because of how hard they fought.
This is one of the most important pieces of their team, I believe, is their head coach, Travers Green, in his 3rd season with Wright State. Graduated from Florida State in 2008, was assistant coach at Florida International and University of Southern Florida, was an associate coach at Mississippi State, and then has been the head coach since 2022 for Wright State. He's had an impressive resume. To put it into perspective, Daniela Tomic has won 3 Coach of the Year awards in her 12 years, or through her 13 years with Bowling Green State University, and only 3 years with Wright State, Travers Green has won 3 Coach of the Year awards. It was already a winning program, but he took it to the next level in 2022, 28-4 with an 18-0 Horizon League record, and then in 2023, 21-11 with a 15-3 Horizon League record. He's 73-21 overall, 49-5 in the Horizon. He's been an impressive piece for Wright State, and he's one of the coaches as well.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I feel like I'm just echoing you at this point. I mean, there's not really much more you can say about that. The coaching staff for Wright State is very solid. They are anchored, like you said, by Travers Green, the Horizon League Coach of the Year. And I think that will trickle down to the players. This is another similarity that both teams have. They have the Coach of the Year in their respective conference. Great coaching staffs built around a couple key players.
So we will take a step back just for a few moments. When we bring you back, we'll have starting lineups and the first serve here in the Stroh Center. You're listening to the National Invitational Volleyball Championship and the Bowling Green specific game on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
On November 1st, 2024, BGSU men's soccer defeated nationally ranked Western Michigan for the first time in a decade. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer was on the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
History has been made here at Cochran Stadium for the first time in 37 regular season matches for the Western Michigan Broncos, and for the first time in a decade, the Bowling Green Falcons take down the Western Michigan Broncos by a final score of 3-0 here at Cochran Stadium. Wow!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Hey there, I'm Ben Korak, the voice of Falcon Hockey, and you are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU hockey.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Hi, I'm Taylor Dyson from BGSU Men's Soccer, and these are my Falcon 4 teammates that I would like to have in the Hunger Games. The first one would be Brennan Graves, because he's pretty much built like a bear. He's a big guy. The second I would like Josh Erlinson, just because he knows all that wilderness stuff. He's good in the woods. The third one I'd have Trace Terra, just because he's a tall guy and he can reach a lot of stuff that I can't. And the fourth guy would be Mads Christiansen, because if we ever got in trouble, he would be the first person we sacrifice. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center. Bowling Green and Wright State set to face off in a couple of minutes. We have our starting lineups here for what could possibly be the last home game of the 2024 season for BGVB. Chaz, why don't you walk us through the starting lineup for their opponent today, the Wright State Raiders?
I've got you, Ben. Starting off, we have number 2, Riley Zigunis, the 6'1 sophomore middle blocker from Zeeland, Michigan. Number 3, Sam Ott, the 5'9 grad student outside hitter from Parma, Ohio. Number 5, Taylor Bransfield, the 6-foot grad student middle blocker from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Number 6, Jenny Morey, the libero 5'7 senior from Yorktown, Indiana. Number 7, Lauren Yacobucci, the 5'10 sophomore setter from Avon Lake, Ohio. Number 10, Maya Aero, the 5'11 sophomore outside hitter from Greenwood, Indiana. And rounding everybody out is number 14, Katie Sauco, the 6-foot outside hitting freshman from Mentor, Ohio.
If you were here in the Stroh Center and you looked up at the video board, you would see the hype video for Bowling Green. All of the clips on the hype video were against Wright State from earlier in the season. A nice touch for the Falcons and the event staff here in the Stroh Center, who do such a great job with all the visual and digital pyrotechnics that they put on here in the Stroh Center. Definitely come down to watch men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball if there's another game, although I doubt there will be. Also, I forgot, special shout out to Kyle Edmond, the SID for volleyball, baseball, and a couple of other sports as well. Men's basketball being another one that his birthday is today. Happy birthday to Kyle Edmond, the SID. Does a lot of work for us in the Falcon Media Sports Network and gets our things on the air and posted for BGVB. So thank you, Kyle Edmond. He, I'm sure, is the one who posted the starting lineup today for Bowling Green State University, so I will walk you through the starting lineup for the Falcons. As the libero, the defensive specialist, the freshman out of Bloomington, Illinois, number 1, Sydney Hernandez, making her second start in a different color for Bowling Green. And then the rest is essentially the same as we saw it yesterday. Jessica Andrews is the middle blocker, as well as Alexis Mattil, Lauren Hovey as the opposite. Jordan Newblatt and Mia Tyler as the outside hitters, and the setter being Amanda Otten in the middle for Bowling Green. They will face off against Wright State once more in this season. It'll be 2 matchups total in this 2024 season. We'll see if Bowling Green can take a 2-0 lead over Wright State in the year 2024. Chaz, what are you looking for from the Falcons today? Give them the best chance of winning this game.
I would like to see a little bit more out of Lauren Hovey. She had the second most kills on the team yesterday, but I do think that they do much better when they function around her, and she has still been very solid. I'd like to see a little bit more production, and I would like to see, honestly, this team functioned very well yesterday. There's not really much I'd change. I got it. Cut down the service errors. That's probably the number one thing to me right now.
Service errors were 7 yesterday for Bowling Green, but they did have 10 aces, so remedied that quite a bit. Lauren Hovey had 3, and Amanda Otten had 4 service aces, so they really carried the rest of the team. Alexis Mattil had 2. Avery Anders had 1 to her 3 errors. Falcons on the floor now wearing their brown jerseys on this Thursday, and Sydney Hernandez, the libero, wearing orange. She wore brown yesterday, so switch with the rest of the team. I really like these brown jerseys for Bowling Green. I think personally they're my favorite ones. There's nothing better really than an orange on the Falcon Friday, but I really like these browns.
I agree. I think the browns are the best, and I think they pair really well with the orange libero. And obviously, it's a little uniform talk right now, and that's.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to have it.
Got to talk about the look.
But I will say,
play good.
No, I don't want to say anything bad. But my least favorite look is the orange with the whites. I like when they do orange with the brown libero. The orange with the white libero is just a little strange to me. I don't know.
Fair enough. Amanda Otten for the first serve. The leading server for Bowling Green yesterday is received by Wright State. They get an early attack off, but it's kept up by Newblatt. Mattil sets this one to Hovey. Hovey goes off the block, overpass, and it won't settle down. Alexis Mattil gets the first assist of the day. Lauren Hovey gets the first kill. That's an odd way to do it, but they got it done.
Jenny Morey trying to get a hold of that one, and you were right, Ben. It was nearly overpass, settled into the net, and she had a diving attempt, managed to get a hand on it, but was really unable to pull it up.
Otten for another one, targets Salco. Salco can't get it to land. Now a long rip near side from Sam Ott. Can't get it to land. Otten four-set across to Tyler. Tyler puts this one through the seam and past Maya Aero on the back row.
We saw a lot of this yesterday because when the Falcons announced their starters, both you and I were shocked to see both Mia Tyler, Lauren Hovey, and Jordan Newblatt all on the floor together. But when Newblatt functions in the back row, she does a really good job defensively, and you get a little bit of an offensive boost.
Overpass and an attack from Alexis Mattil. That one will fall. She's perfect on this game already. Got an assist and now a kill to go along.
I mean, that was bread and butter. That was easy. That ball just floats up, and the 6'3" middle, or 6'2", middle blocker just slams it down.
Hovey has yet to surrender. This one, another overpass. Mia Tyler puts that one on the back line. 4-0 Bowling Green early in this first set.
And that was one hitch that Bowling Green had last night. They struggled a little bit with their consistency. They go on runs, they'd fall off, they go back on another run. Right now, 4-0, dominating to open this match.
The serve goes long from Amanda Otten, so she receives her first error of the game, and the point finally turns over to Wright State.
Isn't that just how it works, Ben?
Always.
You have 4 service aces the night before, no errors. First serve of the second day, way too long.
Sam Ott for her service, one of the better servers, 35 on the season for Wright State. Dump play from the Falcons. Setting it up, across, attack back row from Sam Ott, and it won't land. Otten now with an attack to Mattil, and she's blocked. And she takes credibility for that one, says it's on her, firing up into that block. 4-2 now. Wright State's got 2 in a row.
That was just kind of a matter of not getting the hands up correctly, not really having your head as much on a swivel, but it's early in the match, not something you're going to harp on so soon.
Otten backsets Hovey, overpass. Hovey with another attack, and she's blocked solo by Lauren Yakabuchi, the setter of the year for the Horizon League. Lauren Hovey laughing that one off, as BGVB always does. They surrender 3 in a row.
I mean, you got to love the tenacity on that hit, just jumping up, getting fully blocked and falling down to the ground. Great power by her, but man, Yakabuchi with the block.
And now a block by Mia Tyler. Solo with Alexis Mathilde to her right. 5-3 now the Falcons, and attack error by Taylor Bransfield. Bransfield, a fifth-year grad student middle blocker. Avery Anders for the serve, freshman out of North Olmsted, Ohio. Misreceived, won't be an ace. Aero will just dump it over. Otten set to Mathilde. Mathilde sends it. Oh, that one was in. Looked to be wide to me, but the line judge was right on it.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything then, but that's the second shot I think Bowling Green really got away with. The first was, I believe, an Alexis Mathilde long shot that I didn't think hit the line. I thought it was outside, but that's 2 straight for Bowling Green.
Dug out. Yakabuchi sets across to Iro again off the block. Out of play. Perfectly hit. Maya Iro, 10th in the Horizon League in kills on the season, 356. She, amazingly, with 356 kills, is second on the team behind Sam Ott at 361. So a tight race. Avery Anders bump set to Newblatt. Newblatt's first attack won't land. Kept up. Yakabuchi sets back. The attack is long from Taylor Bransfield. Oh no, the tail is, it is in.
No, it was long, but it was touched.
It was off the, okay. Didn't see the call there. The line judge's flag didn't make a proper gesture. Otten to Mathilde. Mathilde goes off the block and it falls down. And a little bit late was Katie Salco from the back row. We've seen this a lot lately with a lot of teams, Western Michigan not being one of them, but we've seen a lot of outside hitters playing back row. Saw it in NIU, saw some in Ohio. We saw it yesterday from Binghamton, today from Wright State.
Bowling Green also has been doing it.
A little bit more. Iro goes off the block, it falls down. Andrews is just a little bit too far away from the net, leaving space for it to fall. And Mathilde will check off for Hernandez back in the game. Yakabuchi, the leader in aces for Wright State, 51. 9th in the Horizon League. She now sets this one back, and it's misreceived by Avery Anders. A kill for Katie Salco. I believe that's her first of the game on 2 attempts, and the score is tied 7-7.
And what an answer for Wright State. Falcons go up 4-0, and then following that, Wright State just hanging in there. Now it's all drawn up. Let's see what both teams can do.
Newblad right through the seam and drops it down. It was a perfect dig by Avery Anders, diving into the 3-meter line to keep that one from being an ace. She's kind of the winner of that play, really.
This is a really talented backcourt. And you know, maybe a color commentator might have made a package that went out a day or two on bgfalconmedia.com that you can check out about this backcourt. Regardless, both Anders and Hernandez are studs.
Second service error of the game for Bowling Green is attributed now to Lauren Hovey, who had 3 aces yesterday. So the only 2 errors in today's game were the 2 highest ace totalers yesterday. That's how it goes. Law of averages evens everything out. Anders bump set Hernandez. Newblatt with a rip down the line. She got it. Went off the block, and rolling away was Jenny Morey, the libero, wearing green for Wright State.
I think that might be the key. Picking on Morey, just trying to get past her. She's not the strongest libero in the world, and I think that'll be the key if you're Bowling Green. And kind of similarly, if you're Wright State, Hernandez is talented, but she is not that experienced at the libero position.
Otten sets up Tyler. Tyler drops it right in the middle. Late to it was Yakabuchi. 10-8, the Falcons lead. You know, this thought just occurred to me, Chaz. Have the Falcons lost to a team wearing green yet this season?
Eastern Michigan.
They did lose to Eastern Michigan. Dang it. I was thinking Ohio. I was thinking Wright State. I was thinking Chicago State, the first game of the season. Dump play to Bowling Green. Otten throws it into the donut. Got that one to fall again. 2 dump plays in a row. 11-8, and the Falcons capitalize on both.
And you've got to love that by Bowling Green. They've been going power for the majority of this set so far, hitting hard, trying to get off the block, get it off of hands, and get it to go long. Back-to-back light shots to get points.
Newblatt sent her serve way long enough that there's no complaining coming from the bench, only laughing. That's how comically far it was, almost into the student section. She shakes it off. Hernandez bumps that to Otten. Otten set back on the slide to Andrews, and it falls down 12-9 off of a kill from Jessica Andrews.
And Ben, almost immediately, this game feels much different from yesterday. Both teams have the energy immediately. They're firing on all cylinders and really doing a great job at spreading the ball around. Both teams are.
Hernandez's serve is received and kept up. Yakabuchi near side to Ott, and Ott. Oh, it was saved by Mia. Oh, no, it wasn't. They called it off. I thought Mia had it.
I thought Mia pancaked that.
But no challenge will come from the Falcons. You can tell Danielle Tomic was trying to decide whether to challenge, but it's a little bit early. 12-10 in the first set. Falcons Wright State, second round, I should say, of the National Invitational Volleyball Championship, the Sweet 16. Super 16, as they call it, and an attack from Lauren Hovey from downtown, but planned. 13-10.
Yeah, Ben, I feel like if you say Sweet 16, you're encroaching on intellectual property right there. You got to go super, as the Falcons are already super. They're looking to get, what is it, the great? Yeah, they're looking to get great.
Attack from Bransfield on the slide, won't land. Otten back set to Hovey. Hovey with another one. 2 in a row from Lauren Hovey. And she's up to 3 in 6 attempts on the day.
Falcons, Mia Tyler already up to 3 kills. 3 different Falcons all tied at the top with kills. Hovey has 3, Mattil has 3, and Tyler has 3, with Mia Tyler the only one with the perfect hitting percentage.
Some severe faces coming from Bowling Green on the serves today. That's their 4th error. 2 to Otten on the last one. 1 for Newblatt, 1 for Hovey. Contrast to yesterday when they had 10 aces to only 7 errors. This one sent long by Wright State, and that'll take us into our immediate timeout. 15-11, the Falcons lead the Wright State Raiders. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Everyone knows texting while driving is a recipe for disaster, but other forms of distract driving, like changing the radio station, putting on makeup, or talking with the passenger can be just as dangerous. This is Trooper Tony Shirley of the Ohio State Highway Patrol's Bowling Green Post. Every time someone takes their eyes or focus off the road, even for just a few seconds, they put their life and the lives of others in danger. Distracted driving is unsafe and the consequences can be devastating. Help us drive to save lives, never drive distracted.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics, only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Welcome back to the Stroh Center. Bowling Green and Wright State facing off in the Super 16 of this NIVC tournament. You just heard a promo about the Zig Zone, Sundays at 4 p.m. We will have one this Sunday coming up, but we will not have them over winter break. They will pick up, I believe, the 12th of January. I don't know the exact date, but we will certainly run a promo the next time we know that we will have a Zig Zone. Once school gets back into full swing, we will have a Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. If you want to read articles and other BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. And for video content, follow the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel. And we post our rebroadcasts on that YouTube channel as well. And you can hear the broadcast of yesterday's Binghamton game by the Falcon Media Sports Network. And after this game's over, if you want to re-listen to Chaz and I, you can tune in to BG Falcon Media YouTube channel as well. 15-12, Falcons lead by 3. Otten sets up Mattil. Mattil goes off the block, diving play, but Salco can't make it. And 16-12 here in the first set.
Good execution by Bowling Green. They're outkilling the Raiders by over double, 14-6. Attack percentage is 600 to 385. That's not a slouchy hitting percentage either for the Raiders. 12 assists to 6 for Wright State. Bowling Green up 12-6, and then 2 blocks to 1. Raiders have the advantage there.
Otten spins it in perfectly. Great top spin hit. Perfect shottiness from Sam Ott, the grad student. Only 5'9", but a pretty good outside hitter. The leader in kills for Wright State this season.
One of 3 first-team All-Horizon League nominations for Wright State.
Newblatt with a rip and a half, and it's kept up. Yakabuchi sets back to Salco. Diving play by Anders, but she doesn't have a lot of velocity on it, and it falls down right where she was diving.
Falcons still up 2. This is kind of exactly what you expected in the battle. I'd say, honestly, right now, Bowling Green is winning in nearly every category. They got to get a little bit more dominant in the blocking aspect.
Otten, a little bit of a poor back set. Ott with a rip now, and it falls right through the hands of Otten, and it's back down to a 1-point lead for Bowling Green, 16-15.
Ben, I will say that Ott to Otten back and forth is going to get you all day.
I know it is. Timeout taken by Daniela Tomic. We'll stick our way through this one and talk a little bit about what we've seen from the Falcons coming out of that media timeout. At least from what I've seen, it looks like the energy is not so much there for Bowling Green. They had a lot of energy coming into the game, starting a lot better than they did against Binghamton yesterday in the 4-set win, but they kind of have slumped a little bit coming out of the media timeout. Haven't had a lot of clean plays, some misreceptions, some miscues, especially Amanda Otten with the assist too close to the net. And not a lot of clean play from the Falcons as of the last probably 10 points or so.
No, Ben, you're right. And it was really a big opportunity for Wright State to go to the media timeout down 15-11. All the momentum kind of gets paused. You get a second to talk to your team, and then it's almost like you got a free timeout in that situation. And then you force Bowling Green to take one of their own. They just outscored the Falcons 4-1 in the past 5 points. So it'll be exciting to see how both teams can adjust. Like I said, Ben, both teams similar paths to get here. They've got a lot still left to prove. And Wright State have a chip on their shoulder after losing to the Falcons way back in September.
5 more kills for Bowling Green on the day with only 4 more total attempts, a higher hitting percentage. No aces in the game thus far, but Wright State's only got 1 error. The Falcons have 4. That's the main stat difference on the page. Everything else is pretty even besides that kill mark. The Falcons lead by 5. Lauren Yakabuchi, the sophomore setter of the year for the Horizon League and first team All-Horizon League. Serves Anders. Anders perfect to Otten. Otten back to Hovey. Hovey with a rip, mishandled by Yakabuchi. Another kill for Lauren Hovey. That's her 4th.
Great first touch there by Anders. We are seeing just, at least on paper, what could be a Avery Anders masterclass. She is getting very good at pulling out hard-to-reach kill attempts.
Salco handles, rip in on the back line. Good attack from Wright State. Perfect setup. If I'm not mistaken, that was Riley Zagunis. First time we've mentioned her in this game. Sophomore middle blocker out of Zeeland, Michigan, spelled with 2 E's, not an E and an A. The first team All-Horizon League nomination as well with Sam Ott, Yakabuchi. Another kill for the Falcons right through the hands of Jenny Mori, the libero. Amanda Otten with that one, and the assist from Avery Anders.
Ben, another time of Falcon targeting Mori there. I think that's going to be the key, and we saw that was a savvy play by Otten, just tucking that one in, dumping it down, and it goes off the forearm of Mori, unable to dig it up.
Mori to Yakabuchi. Yakabuchi sets up Bransfield. Bransfield goes off of Hernandez, sliding to her left. And it goes out of play. Still a 1-point game, 18-17 here in the first set. Tight match, as can be expected. Now in the game, Cameron Hausler, 6-foot grad student, on the back row as a middle blocker. Otten sets up Andrews, kept up by Newblatt. Otten, 4-set, now to Tyler on the left side. That was close, but in, says the line official.
And Ben, I might be crazy to say this. I think this is a very opportune moment for Bowling Green. You're trading points with Wright State, and because of that, the Raiders aren't calling any of their 2 timeouts. It's getting closer to 25. If you can try and keep them close while also shutting out, you might not have them gain any more big swings of momentum.
Sam Ott drops it off the arms of Mattil and Otten. See a lot of Otten and Andrews blocking duo, not a lot of Mattil and Otten. Still lethal. Salco serves Tyler. Mia Tyler to Otten, back to Tyler. Tyler tries to spin it in, and it's kept up by Mori. Yakabuchi dumps over. Hernandez steps up to make the play. Mattil with a rip now and puts it right in front of Salco. Turns this back over to the Falcons, 20-18. Falcons the first to that 20-point mark.
You gotta love what you're seeing out of Bowling Green. Still haven't gotten more than one block, but an 18 kill number, 571 hitting percentage. It's getting a little bit more even now, but Falcons doing a good job at using power to overcome Wright State.
A block from Hovey and Mattil on the near side next to the man in the stand. And Otten is, or not Otten, Sam Ott is rejected.
Told you.
That's a tough little confusion there between Ott and Otten. 21-18, timeout taken by Wright State. We'll take it with them right now. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is the story of a very special woman. Just a few knew about her superpowers. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Falcon Women's Track competes in the Tom Wright Open at Perry Fieldhouse on Saturday, December 7th. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com.
Bowling Green Volleyball leads 21-18 in the first set of this Super 16 match in the NIVC postseason tournament. Falcons and Raiders of Wright State. Ben Korak here with Jazz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Amanda Otten serves. Is kept up by Mori, being picked on again by the Falcons. Bump set into the net from Salco. It's got to go over the net, ladies. 22-18, Bowling Green.
Ben, something I think that we really need to point out, the roster sizes of both of these teams. And we didn't get the chance to call Wright State earlier in the year due to their facility, but Wright State, you look at their bench, a little bit smaller than Bowling Green, a little less opportunity.
Hernandez bump set to Tyler. Tyler tries to spin it in, is kept up by Sam Ott. Now an attack from Bransfield won't land. Hovey with her own attack now, no block, and it goes and falls down. 23-18. It's an interesting point you make, Chaz. It is a little bit of a shorter bench for Wright State for sure. Just by counting the sets played, I think it's 4 total players with 20 or less sets played. And everybody else has essentially played in this game. Another timeout taken by Wright State. We'll stick our way through this one, read some stats while we wait. 23-18, the Falcons lead. They lead 19 kills to 12 on the game. 1 less error and only 6 more total attempts for a 567 hitting percentage. No aces yet, but 2 total blocks, tied with Wright State, who's not a slouch blocking team themselves. They only have 1 service error and 8 digs. The Falcons have 9 digs and 4 service errors. That's a big swing right there in the service error department, especially for a team that had such a great ratio yesterday at a 10-7.
Yeah, Ben, you're right about that. I think the Falcons all year have tried to serve aggressively, and they've done a good job for the most part. But right now, they're just trying to get it right over the net, trying to tape it. And besides that absolute moonshot, you could say, from Jordan Newblatt, the rest of the serves have really been low and into the net.
Conviction serving, the words that they use when they use it at practice, when they do their serving drills every game. setting up a chair at one part of the court. You get until all the balls are gone to hit the chair before you have to run lines for every player that wasn't able to hit the chair in their attempts. More to Yakabuchi, back set to Bransfield. Bransfield's kept up by Otten, a good play. Bump set from Hernandez. Hovey with this one, overpassed, out of play around the antenna.
You gotta love Hovey there, just sitting watching that one go over. And, I mean, good play there by the Falcons. Another overpass, and now Falcons threatening. They just need one more to close out the set.
Match point for the Falcons. Who but Lauren Hovey to get the last 2 kills and set him up. We'll see if she can put it away as well. Otten tips it over. It'll be on an ace from Amanda Otten off the tape. Rolls over and falls down. Falcons take the first set 25-18. Heck of a set from the Falcons.
Wow. What a serve there by Amanda Otten. You can tell by the look on her face she did not mean to do that, but regardless, that is a point for the Orange and Brown. That will take us into immediate timeout and also take us into set number 2, which is huge for Bowling Green to go into this set with how they finished everything off.
Falcons lead 1-0. You're listening to the NIVC and BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Falcon women's basketball team looks to extend their winning streak to 3 games as they battle Xavier and the Stro this Saturday, December 7th. Join the Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Kaden Knapp on the call at 6:45 on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
BGSU men's basketball returns to the Stroh Center to battle Morgan State on Saturday, December 7th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Artie Abrego and Carter Leonard on the call at 1:45 for pregame and 2 p.m. for tip-off on Falcon Radio.
Back here in the Stroh Center, possibly the last volleyball game here in the Stroh Center for the 2024 season and for the year as well. Ben Clark here with Chaz McNeil calling Bowling Green versus Wright State. The Falcons took the first set pretty handily, especially toward the end there. A couple of straight kills, a service ace by Amanda Otten to put it away, and some kills by Lauren Hovey before that to set it back up. Falcons played pretty well, Chaz.
Yeah, Ben, you're right about that. Falcons putting up 20 kills to Wright State's 12. 2 errors compared to 3. 31 total attempts to 25. 581 hitting percentage for BG compared to Wright State's 360. Falcons also out-assisted the Raiders 18-12 and had one more ace, 1-0, but they did have 3 more errors from the serve, 2 more digs, and they finished with the same number of blocks.
Falcons playing loose right now, as they almost always do. Play better when they're loose. 1-0 in total sets. The serve will go back to Wright State and Sam Ott. No aces, 1 error in this game for Wright State. The error going to Sam Ott. Newblatt to Otten, and this will, I don't believe, be an ace because Otten touched it ranging away from the play. but it will fall in for a Wright State point, and it will be an ace, I believe, to Sam Ott. Newblatt misreceives again, but Otten centers it back up. Hovey with a rip is kept up by Morey. This rip from Bransfield won't land. Otten into Mattil. Mattil sends it just wide of the line to beat. 2-0 Wright State on an out-of-system play by the Falcons, and they couldn't convert it.
Great dig there for Jordan Newblatt, unable to get anything going, but still, I do like what I'm seeing out of this Falcon team. They just got to settle down a little bit, make a couple adjustments, and there's that power that we like to see out of the Falcons.
Salco couldn't handle it on the back row, as a lot of players can't. Lauren Hovey with that great left hand on the right side of the court. 2-1 now. The serve is back in the hands of Amanda Otten, who after yesterday you'd say is a dangerous server. That she is. She's got an ace today as well. It's 5 aces and only 2 errors in this series. An attack from Tyler on the overpass, and it'll fall in. Mia Tyler had a great game yesterday. She's starting out pretty good here as well. That's 5 kills on 7 total attempts, paired with her 14 kills on 30 total attempts from yesterday.
And she's a player that will be sorely missed, but the Falcons' outside hitter room, we haven't really touched on it yet today, but that is going to be stacked in the upcoming future. You've got names like Edita Vatswavchik. It's going to be exciting to see Marin Dunaway maybe sometime next year. Maria Tabak is another name. This is a loaded room.
Jenny Morey again. Newblatt misreceives. Otten back to Tyler. Tyler goes off the block, and it falls down at the feet of Riley Zagunis. Newblatt's been struggling a little bit on that back row, but the Falcons are going to leave her in there. She is a senior. This is her last volleyball games that she's going to be playing in her career, so you want to get her as much time as possible if you're Bowling Green. Avery Anders for the service. Ott to Yakabuchi. Yakabuchi across to Aero. Aero with a strong right hand. Set her up with no blockers. She teed it off and knocked it out of the park.
And that was just a great hit there by Wright State, fighting power with power, and that one just crossed in the face of Newblatt.
Yakabuchi again sends it just long, barely. Half an inch from clipping that white line. Lexus Mattil, 5th-year senior middle blocker.
Great story for Alexis Mattel. She wasn't even going to come back this year, and she decided to because the team needed a blocker in practice. Loved it so much, she fully decided to commit back.
Pancaking play from Mattil coming off the back row. Newblatt dumps it over for the Falcons. Yakabuchi again, and finally a kill. Putting it away, Riley Zagunis. Not to take away from that great dig by Alexis Mattil, pancaking that from the back row.
That's just what I was going to say, Ben. That is always the worst when you have such a big play and you don't end up taking the point away at the end of the day.
Anders to Otten to Newblatt. Newblatt's blocked and it falls in. There's a great block by Riley Zagunis and Elena Dubuque.
Wright State going on a bit of a run now. They're up 2. It'll be huge if they could split this set.
Tipped over. Anders to Anders with the bump set. Newblatt, almost an overpass. Lauren Hovey reaches over the net, pushes it back, tries to do it again. Ott gets it over. Otten to Newblatt. Newblatt can't get it to fall. Yakabuchi sets up over the middle, blocked by Andrews. Again, a play for the Falcons. Otten sets to the right side at Hovey. Hovey goes off the block, kept up by Hernandez, back over. Essentially a dump play, bump set to Sam Ott. Ott can't get it to land. Long rally for these two squads. Newblatt with a rip now, tries to force it to the back row, but it goes long and wide. 7-4 now, Wright State over the Falcons.
And that's a tough play. Smart by Newblatt to push it. She just couldn't get the right direction on it, trying to go around the block and just pushed it a little bit too far to the left.
Daniela Tomic not happy with a call, and I think we're going to get a timeout possibly, or a challenge.
A challenge.
We are going to get a challenge from Daniela Tomic.
So I think I know what happened. There was, I think somebody hit the net for Wright State, and you could see on the bench associate head coach Allie Cook was not happy. And, I mean, the Falcons thought they had won the point, and then they still went back and forth for a good while.
7-4 right now. It could flip and be a 6-5. So a 4-point swing if this turns back over. Don't know. There's no replay to see if she actually hit the net. I would imagine if they're that livid about it that somebody did hit the net, it should be a quick challenge in that case. And there we'll show it right here. Oh, they're showing the replay of the attack.
Might be something else. Is it? Oh, are they saying pole?
Oh.
They're saying pole.
But did it hit on the way back? Did the ball hit the pole, the antenna on the way back or the way there? That's what I can't tell. The net did move, but the ball also hit the net, so that could have been why. So now I understand why they're taking a little bit to look at this.
Also, Ben, we got our first big change in the NIVC tournament, at least in Bowling Green's quadrant. Lindenwood, 23-10. They just fell to Omaha in 5 sets at DePaul University. That's a big upset early for Lindenwood, who won their conference. I mean, that's an Omaha team sitting at 16-12 that is really now playing upset watch. They'll face the winner of DePaul Toledo tomorrow at 8 p.m.
The question now is what the seeding is and who's going to get priority and possibly home arena play, and then who you're going to play, who the matchups are going to be. It'll be Ball and Toledo versus Omaha, if I heard you correctly.
Yes. So
DePaul and Toledo are 2 teams that the Falcons faced and beat 3 times in this season combined. So that would be a decent matchup for the Falcons. They know how to beat both of those squads for sure. Omaha's a team that they haven't played, but 16-12, not a whole lot of scary record there.
And it'll be interesting to see, because also this is completely unrelated. Is that Omaha, Nebraska?
Yes.
What are they doing in a primarily Ohio side of the bracket?
I don't know. It doesn't look to be like there's a lot of regional.
Wright State's in Ohio.
Although northern Colorado would be close-ish. Utah Valley possibly. Maybe there was just too many in that area. You see Pacific, Weber State, Wyoming, Idaho State. That would be more understandable.
Well, Wright State's Ohio, Bowling Green's Ohio, Binghamton's New York, DePaul, Chicago, Toledo's Ohio, Nebraska, and then Lindenwood's also in Ohio. So I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, but
this is a little bit weird.
I mean,
I guess once they take the trip out here, they're here until they lose. So,
and that's the thing. They put up a fight and they swung and they won. So Omaha, they have made it to the Super 16. Falcons, because they started a day early. They started yesterday. They were the only team besides obviously Binghamton, their opponent, to play in the NIVC yesterday. If the Falcons win today, they'll be the first team in the Great 8, and it'll stay that way for a whole day.
The point will stay with Wright State, so it will be a 7-4. The challenge unsuccessful from Danielle Tomic. She's getting the explanation right now from the referee, or the center line judge, the official, however you want to put it. The serve will stay with Wright State. It'll be Maya Aero. Newblatt perfect to Otten. Back set to Hovey. Hovey down the line and in. Great attack from Lauren Hovey. Again, those blockers just a little bit late, and you leave her unblocked. She's going to pound it through. 7-5, lead down to 2 for the Raiders.
And that's something that was the downfall for Bowling Green. It wasn't the blockers for Western Michigan, although they did very solid. It was Andalyn Simpkins, the libero, that was just able to dig everything up that Hovey was throwing at him. I don't think it's going to be the same style for Jenny Morey, so that's a big advantage for the Orange and Brown.
Zagunis is handled by Anders. Otten across to Newblatt. Newblatt on the left side goes off the block. Aero with an athletic play to keep this one alive. Ott with a good strike. Now Otten back to Newblatt. Newblatt's blocked. Hernandez with a diving play. I think it was going out of play, and she knew it as soon as she laid out. but she touched it. And now Edita Vaswavchik will check into the game for Jordan Newblatt.
I think that was only a matter of time. You got to change something up offensively. Newblatt was doing solid. She had 2 kills, but she also had 3 attacking errors on 10 total attempts. Got to try something fresh. It'll be interesting to see Eddie come in.
Javi Devaswavchik, Wright State working 9-5 on the scoreboard, and it goes off the block, out of play. Another point. I had to work in that 9-5 reference before the score changed. 10-5 now as Danielle Tomic will take her first time out of the second set. Wright State leads by 5, 10-5 in this second set, but the Falcons lead 1-0. You're listening to the NIVC tournament and BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Danielle Tomic and the Falcons talk over what they want to change going forward. They're trailing by 5 to Wright State in the second set, but they lead 1-0. Wright State has had some pretty good plays as of the last couple minutes, but the Falcons 4 errors to 4 kills in this set. They've been shooting themselves in the foot a lot. Sending a couple long, a couple wide. Vaswavchik to Otten, Otten to Andrews, a little bit of miscommunication. Otten will reset, go back. Aero to Yakabuchi, an attack from Bransfield. And Sydney Hernandez is just caught on her heels a little bit. Riley Zagunis, first team All-Horizon. And Madia Tabak now in the game now for the Falcons. Who's playing setter? It's got to be Lauren. Madia Tabak, an opposite hitter, will be playing the right side again. Sydney Hernandez to Vaswavchik. Vaswavchik, an attack off the block. It falls down, her first of the game. Wow, this is interesting. Sydney Hernandez wearing orange as the libero. Lauren Hovey has to be the setter with Madia Tabak and Mia Tyler in the game as opposite for Tabak and outside for Tyler.
Don't want to speculate a little bit. It looks like An might be dealing with some back issues as well.
Possibly. Left in from Alana Dubuque. It's wide. Another service error, 12-6. Let's hope that Amanda is okay. She looks like she's standing fine. She has been wearing the brace for a little while. Maybe just a comfort thing. Vaswavchik to Hovey. Hovey is, I don't know if that's a net violation on her, but it's a net violation on some of the Falcons. 13-6. It's gone from bad to a little bit worse.
Just a swing in momentum. Falcons, I'm a little shocked that they're trying something fresh so early on in this match. And a missed reception now, just nothing can go right for Bowling Green.
Danielle Tomic calling in Newblatt again to go in as Vaswavchik. Understands why she's being subbed out on a missed reception. She's gonna head back to the bench. Newblatt on again for the Falcons. They have to switch something up because they're trailing by 8. Hernandez to Hovey, bump set to Tyler. Tyler Mori keeps it up. Yakabuchi in the middle. Bransfield diving play. Miscommunication by Newblatt and Hernandez. We're just falling apart here, and a timeout will have to be taken by Danielle Tomic, who looks pretty peeved at how her team's playing in the second set. They trail by 9, 15-6. We'll take another step back as the Falcons talk it over. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
BGSU men's basketball hits the road to take on the Kansas City Roos on Saturday, December 14th. Check out the preview and recap on bgfalconmedia.com.
It's gone from bad to a little bit worse for Bowling Green. They're trailing by 9 now, and both timeouts have been used by Daniela Tomic to try and settle her team down. Lauren Hovey is currently playing the setter spot for the Falcons, with Madia Tabak as the right side opposite hitter. Jordan Newblatt and Mia Tyler, the combination back row and outside hitter. Jessica Andrews, the middle blocker, and Sydney Hernandez, the libero. Bump set from Hovey. She's yet to get a good, clean set off. Yakabuchi across. Sam Ott leaves it wide. A good lead from the Falcons. That's a desperately needed point as Mattil will check in the game for Andrews.
And it really is just interesting to see the change. You've got Otten out, and since Hovey's come in, it hasn't really been as efficient of an offense.
Yakabuchi to Salco. Salco can't get it to land. Set from Mattil to Tabak. Tabak sends it off the block. Madia Tabak with a kill. Always cool to see new players getting kills. Madia hasn't played in a long while. Set back. Bransfield is blocked by the Falcons. Back. Sam Ott to Hovey. Hovey with a clean set. Across to Tyler. Tyler with a rip kept up by Iro. Now across back to Ott. Ott looks to fall in. Hovey with a diving play, but crosses the middle line and can't make the play as it falls in. The lead is 8 for Wright State, 16-8.
The Falcons didn't win the point, but I ate my words right there. That was a very clean set. You mentioned it. That was a great set by Lauren Hovey, and she played setter a bit of her freshman year, and we're starting to see the roots come back.
Bump set for Hovey. Attack for Tyler. Looked to go off the block, but because it didn't, it was just sent long, 17-8. You might just want to cash in this set and go for the next. 1-0 in favor of the Falcons, but they trail by 9. Newblatt to Hovey. Hovey backs at to Tabak. Tabak sends it just long. That one tumbled in just barely.
Down 10 here.
Ott again. Tries to dive it in. Newblatt with a dig. Hovey sets up Mattil. Mattil goes off the block, and somebody hit the net. It might have been Mattil. Another net violation for the Falcons, and no timeouts for Bowling Green as well. This is falling apart at the seams.
And I really think it does come down to the serve game right now. The serving, not many service aces for Wright State, but their serves have caught Bowling Green off kilter and really made them go a little bit frantic.
Hovey sets across to Tyler. Tyler with a right hand takes a point back. Limits the lead down to 10. Amanda Otten feels better. She's going back in the game. Belle Lauby is as well. So Otten for Tabak. Lauby in for Newblatt. So what I'm thinking is that brace that she wore was a heating brace of some sort. Maybe a comfort thing for Otten. Her first serve is nearly perfect. Just dug out. Aero. Perfect dig from Lauby. Otten to Tyler. Tyler knocks it down. What a play from the Falcons as the bench erupts.
I mean, wow. You look at that. Every single player did their job. Amanda Otten, after being benched, comes right back out. near perfect serve. First time in the game for Belle Laube, near perfect dig. Just awesome opportunity for the Falcons, still down 9.
Otten, another near perfect. Aero gets blocked by the Falcons. Maury back to Aero. Aero's blocked, but it falls on the side of Bowling Green. Hovey and Mattil a little bit too far away from the net. 20-10.
And while you might have to chalk up this set, you got to like what you're seeing now out of the Falcons. There's a little bit of spark, a little chip on the shoulder building, and a lot of energy you can tell from the squad.
Maury, Hovey with a rip now. Yakabuchi keeps it up. Maury bump set. Back to Aero. Aero sends it long. You know, she's all or nothing on her swings. It's 110% all the time. No toolbox for her. Anders back to serve. She subs in. Laube off. Newblad in. Laube, the third option defensive specialist now, with Lindsay LaPinta out for what probably will be the rest of the season. Aero is blocked, and it's wide. So a good block from the Falcons, but just outside the white line on the right side of the Falcon court. 21-11 now. The lead is still 10. It'll take a miracle and a half for Bowling Green to climb back into this.
Falcons definitely found something with that last rotation, but now the players they've got in, trying to see if they can get confidence back in this squad that did so well against Binghamton yesterday.
Maury to Salco. Salco's blocked. Back out, Yakabuchi. The leader in assists for the Horizon League, and this attack is sent long after a beautiful leave by Avery Anders. She actually tried to play it, but was late.
So Falcons need 9 to tie. Wright State need 4 to win the set.
Mattil for the serve now. Maury to Yakabuchi, and oh, perfect. What a hit from Riley Zagunis.
You can't get better placement than that. That was just, you're off balance, kind of just trying to chuck up a shot, and great placement.
Talk about painting the corners. Maya Aero.
That was a masterclass.
Otten back to Hovey. Hovey gets blocked. Hernandez with the diving play to keep it up. Otten changes direction back to Newblatt. And Aero to Yakabuchi to Zagunis. This one falls in, 23-12. Rough set for Bowling Green. They're one away from set point for the Raiders.
Also, it might be a bad time to mention, but the Falcons 8-3 at home against Wright State all time.
Newblatt perfectly placed again with one on the back row. So a point goes back to the Falcons, but they still need 10 to tie. And Wright State only needs 2 to win. I don't think the win by 2 is going to factor into this set. Hovey for the serve, takes her time, left hand, up and over. Aero behind the 3-meter line, set from Yakabuchi, and perfectly placed as Hernandez, frustrated with herself, has let that ball go. Just a mental mistake for the new libero. 24-13, set point for Wright State as they trail 1-0. Zagunis to Newblatt to Otten. Otten, 4-set, back to Newblatt. Rip is blocked, falls in on the side of the Falcons, and Wright State will take the second set, 25-13. We'll take a step back for a few minutes. When we bring you back, we'll bring the third set of action between Wright State and the Falcons. Now a win 2 and go home for 1 and advance in the NIVC. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
fan of BG Falcon Media's live sports talk show, The Swoop, while there will be no more productions over winter break, episodes will air again every Tuesday beginning on January 28th only on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? Have you heard of hepatitis C? Hepatitis C is a leading cause of liver cancer, yet it often has no symptoms. And people born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have it. But here's some good news. Treatments are now available that can cure hepatitis C, which is why you should talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
BGSU hockey is back at the Slater Family Ice Arena for Game 2 of their series against the Northern Michigan Wildcats on Saturday, December 14. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Erica Porter is this week's Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week. The fifth-year forward scored 20 points and hauled in 8 rebounds in the win against Stetson. She followed that up by helping BG defeat SEC's Arkansas, scoring 18 points, including the game-winning shot with 8.4 seconds to play. The West Windsor native is averaging 10.6 points per game and 5.4 rebounds this season. Last season, she was named an All-MAC third-team selection and set a new program record by shooting 66.3% from the field. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
What is dedication?
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
BGSU hockey travels north to Mankato to battle Minnesota State on Friday, December 6th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call starting at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Bowling Green drops a pretty harsh second set, and they are tied 1-1 in sets with the Wright State Raiders, so it's essentially a 3-set game now. The first to win 2. We do have the 15-point third set. The Falcons back on the floor now. Belle Lauby, the defensive specialist. Amanda Otten is coming back on. So we had a set there with Lauren Hovey as the setter. But Otten is back. It's good for the Falcons, the heart of the team.
All season has done a good job at metering the team.
Zagunis off now with Jenny Maury on, the senior defensive specialist and libero out of Yorktown, Indiana. 464th set to play right here. She's got almost 1,000 digs. Could get it today if she gets, I believe, 22 in this game, which, considering she's sitting at 7, doesn't look too probable, but if it goes to 5 sets, she could hit it. Otten for the serve, as she did the first in the game, and sends this one into a different zip code. Wright State up 1-0 after the service error from the Falcons. That's their 8th of the game.
And that was almost exactly like the first serve of the game as well.
For 4 errors for Otten in this game with 1 ace. She had 4 aces yesterday with no errors. So the law of averages really is real. Alexis Mattil with like a hook shot hit, and it falls in between. Both sides didn't really know what was going on. That was a luck point. Anders will go back.
Multiple interesting touches on that. You had, I believe it was Otten kind of pull it back before it went over the net, and then the hook shot by Mattil. But as you've been saying, law of averages, too far right, too far left is perfect down the middle.
Spinner over off of the block of Vaswavchik and Mattil. Vaswavchik in the game now for Mia Tyler. We've seen her, Madia Tabak, in this game. Javi played the setter position. Sydney Hernandez in her second ever libero. Otten to Vaswavchik, goes high off the hands. Ott keeps it up. A push from Zagunis. That looked like it might have been a palming, but it was not. 3-1, Wright State. A little bit confused by that. It looked like she caught it and threw it. Yakabuchi to Otten. Otten back set to Hovey. Hovey goes off the block and out of play. Could have had a dig there as it went right by my left ear. 3-2, Wright State. This one's tighter, and the Falcons really need to take this. $11 total attacking errors for the Falcons. 9 kills and 9 errors in that second set alone. Their first set was great. That second was poor. Stalko. Vaswavchik is blocked. Bump up. Anders bump set up. Vaswavchik again goes off the hands. Great recognition play by Eddie to recognize she wasn't in great positions, go off the side of the hands and out of play for no return.
And with how this match is going, it's really needed. There's a lot of power coming out of Wright State. Avery Anders is going to be the key right now. In the backcourt, able to anchor those far, hard shots as they're not really targeting the inside.
Aero goes off of the hands to the same extent that Vaswavchik did, and it goes out of play. Mattil off, Andrews on. Hernandez is in the game as well in the back row where Mattil would have rotated. Aero again serves back left corner of the Falcons. Otten set to Vaswavchik again. Tries to tumble it in, but it won't. Yakabuchi to Ott. Ott can't get it on the other side of the net. So it'll be 4 touches technically. 4-4 now the score. Tied up in this third set.
And that's something that out of Wright State, they made 3 errors, the same as they did in the first set. There was an attack error there. It's really just coming down to, well, how is Bowling Green going to perform?
Blocked by Otten and Andrews over the middle. The attack won't be handled by Anders on the back row. I think it was waiting for the live stats to update. I didn't really see who that was. Sam Ott. There you go. She's got the second most kills in this game with 6. Zagunis with 8. Andrews on the slide, puts it right through. Yakabuchi couldn't handle Zagunis on the receiving end, also off the ricochet. 5-5 now the score. Vaswavchik off for Lauby and Anders off for Mia Tyler. Lauby will go back to serve. She's got 6 aces and 12 errors in total on the season. Only 32 total sets played. This one knuckles its way in. It was a good dig just to keep it out. And Lauby gets out of the way of this ball as that one was humming on the attack from the left side of the court. Sam Ott with another kill. She's up to 7, chasing Zagunis' kill lead.
Wright State doing a good job just staying ahead, trading points. They have the lead currently. Wow.
That was unfortunate. Lauren Hovey backpedaling to try and get out of the way of the serve. That was going to go long. It was left by Belle Lauby, but Hovey was in the way and it hit her before it hit the floor. That was unfortunate. 7-5, Wright State. Hernandez. Otten set from behind the 3-meter line. Tyler, and it goes into the net and couldn't be handled by Wright State. Another great attack from Mia Tyler, who's up to 9 kills on 15 total attempts. Only 1 error in this game. She has been outstanding in the last 2 games.
You're right about that, Ben.
Hernandez floating serve. Yakabuchi sets across to Ott. Ott is blocked by Amanda Otten, but it falls outside the white line. 8-6. Blocking hasn't really been on point for the Falcons. They haven't recorded a block since the first set, whereas Wright State has recorded 3 in the second, 2 in the first, for a total of 5 to the Falcons' 2. Otten to Tyler. Tyler with a rip. Back row, overpass. The Falcons will have to recenter it. Otten just goes and dumps it on the second touch. Great play, Amanda Otten, 8-7, Wright State.
And that's just the battle of 2 evils if you're Wright State. You're facing off against Mia Tyler, who, as you mentioned, ripping the ball right now. She is absolutely on fire. And then Amanda Otten takes full advantage of Wright State paying a lot of respect to Tyler and just dumps it right in the campfire.
Yakabuchi, back set. Bransfield, and it's overpassed by Otten, but she keeps it alive. Yakabuchi again across this one to Aero. Aero can't get a full swing. Otten back to Hovey. Hovey has to push it around the antenna. On the inside part of the antenna, I should say. Ott with a rip, and it falls into the net. She's, for all the greatness she's had, she's got 8 kills tied for the lead. She's had a lot of errors as well. 4 total errors out of 8 for Wright State. She's hit a lot of them into the net.
And that will sometimes happen when you're the primary weapon on a team. You've got to create, you've got to be kind of the trailblazer in that sense. Great setter for Wright State, but you're getting good placement, but you still have to be aggressive at times, lead the way for your offense, and that's going to lead to some errors.
First lead of the set for Bowling Green. They lead 9-8 after Amanda Otten with a great decision to let the ball go cross-court wide. Off of the attack from Wright State, Otten. Yakabuchi sets up Aero again. Aero can't get it to land. Yakabuchi back sets to Bransfield. Can't get it to land. Again blocked by the Falcons. Ott tumbles it into the center, and a diving play by Tyler is a little bit late. 9-9, the score is tied.
Let's go, side out, BG, right there.
The game, Chaz, you can disagree with this. I think the game has run through the Falcons. Here's my argument. The first set, the Falcons dominated. Therefore, they controlled. The second set, the Falcons played bad. Truly, just did not play well, and that's why they ended up losing it. Inevitably, the ball was off the block, falls into the antenna, and then is kept alive, but it's waved off by the officials, 10-9 Wright State. So, Chaz, we're really seeing the Falcons playing really well in the first set, taking it, playing really bad in the second set, while Wright State's been pretty consistent. 12 kills, 3 errors in the first, 11 kills, 3 errors in the second, now 8 kills, 3 errors in the third. And Belle Laube with a mistake on the back row will give another point to the Raiders, 11-9.
And Ben, I think you're 100% right. I was looking at Wright State stats, very identical. They've really been sticking with the same style. They're probably going to get their most kills in a set here right now, but still, Bowling Green, you're right. They really have controlled the momentum of this game, good or bad.
Tyler takes the point back with the right hand, 11-10. Now the Falcons are trailing. Avery Anders back in the game for Mia Tyler. Belle Laube is also out for Edita Vaswavchik. Anders knuckles it in. Overpass. Andrews! I'm sorry, that's Alexis Mattil. Right hand on the overpass. That's a play that the Falcons don't miss a whole lot on that overpass just over the net.
And Ben, you know what they say, 11-11, make a wish, as the teams are tied up and both teams wishing for the next point.
And it will go to Wright State after the attack, or the service error from Avery Anders, her first of the game. Only 1 ace to 9 errors for the Falcons today after a 10 ace and only 7 error performance yesterday. Hernandez to Otten to Vaswavchik, goes off the block and out of play. Vaswavchik has been great in this game, 3 kills on 6 attempts for the redshirt freshman.
Ben, you know what the most exciting part of this match is to me? It's not the players, even though both teams have been playing very well. We're having a chess battle between Daniela Tomic and Travis Green, both letting their girls play, and they're really hanging in there, both sides, not making any rash decisions, not calling any early timeouts.
Vaswavchik gets another block. Solo on this one takes a lead back for the Falcons, 13-12, a great sub for the Falcons. I think you were right in the chess match, but less about letting the girls play and more about just the moves that they've been making and how well they've worked. As the serve goes long for Mattil. Hernandez back in for Mattil.
Let me clarify a little bit. By that, I mean they're not just ripping timeouts after a run or two.
Yes.
We're without a doubt, we're going to head to our third straight media timeout without a timeout called by either coach.
Vaswavchik with another attack. Puts it through past the blockers. 4 and 7 for Vaswavchik without an error. And a solo block for the redshirt freshman out of Katowice, Poland. 14-13, Falcons lead. They just got to hold on through the rest of this set as it's tied 1-1 in total sets in this match between Wright State and Bowling Green. Yakabuchi back, tipped in, pancake by Hernandez. Dump play by the Falcons. Fantastic from the new libero for Bowling Green. Across, Sam Ott with a rip. Hernandez digs it out, but it goes onto the other side and out of play. Too much to ask for on the receiving end of that. 14-14. Next point, I'm sure we'll have our media timeout. We have a new player on the floor now, Greta McKee, a freshman out of Northville, Michigan. Otten set back, Andrews off the block, and it falls down on the slide from Jessica Andrews. 15-14, Bowling Green on top here in the third set, but it's tight. You're listening to the NIVC and WBG, or on BGSU Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Falcon hockey returns to Slater Family Ice Arena to face Northern Michigan on Friday, December 13th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Nathan Burkett at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM.
14 coming out of the media timeout. Falcons and Raiders of Wright State here in the Super 16 of the National Invitational Volleyball Championship. The Falcons beat Binghamton yesterday in 4 sets, only allowing the third set to be taken. Today they split sets with the Raiders. A really great one for Bowling Green, a really poor one to say the least in the second, and now it's looking to be another great one for the Falcons. They're at 11 kills, no errors on 17 attempts, 647 hitting percentage, and a block to go along with it. Falcons have played great in this third set, Chaz.
Yeah, you're right about that, Ben. Both teams have, I mean, I'm still stuck on this chess match thing that we brought up earlier. It's a coaching duel. The rotations, the players, the digs, everything. It's going back and forth. I think this is the best we will see both teams play all day.
15-15 now after the attack from Taylor Bransfield, a grad student out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. One of the middle blocker core of Wright State. We've seen a lot of her. Maya Aero, technically an outside hitter, but she's been playing a lot of that, and Riley Zagunis as well. The service sent long, so 16-15 will be the Falcon lead. Sydney Hernandez, the libero, It's kind of weird to say that now that it's not La Pinta anymore. 32 aces, 44 errors on the season from behind the stripe. Serves this one down the line. Good serve. Make a diving play happen. Ott's attack. It'll have to be dumped over. Otten now tries to attack. Couple of hands. Reaching over is Mattil. She'll lose the joust. Bell Lauby across to Tyler. Tyler tries to spin it in. Yakabuchi recenters. Bransfield is blocked. It falls in. Falcons take the point.
Great use of active hands by Tyler, Mattil, and Otten. Every single play, though, it's arms up. And you've got to be excited that the block is finally starting to be restored.
Hernandez again serves this one down the line. Maury has to make a diving play. 33rd ace of the season for Sydney Hernandez. First ace of the weekend for Sydney Hernandez, and a timeout will be called by Wright State. 18-15, Bowling Green on top, nearing the end of this third set. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
The team's back out on the court. Head coach of Wright State, Travers Green, in his third season, third coach of the year season as well, takes the timeout and tries to settle his girls down before the Falcons take too much of a lead. They lead by 3, 18-15. Hernandez serves down the line again, still very good. Salco can't handle it. It'll be a dump play to the Falcons. Otten to Mattil. Mattil is dug out by Aero. Almost an overpass, almost blocked by Otten, but it'll fall in off of the arms of Mia Tyler.
That ball popped Mia Tyler. She was not expecting that one. Great misdirection by Wright State on that play.
Sam Ott again for the serve. Serves Lauby. Lauby to Otten. Otten out of set system to Hovey. Hovey sends it long, and it doesn't go off the hands. Looked like she was looking for hands there. Falcons in the last couple of matches, especially the one yesterday against Binghamton, like to work in that back row attack from Hovey that we saw on the right side on that last play. And switch up the looks a little bit from her. Lauby digs it out. Otten across to Tyler. Tyler is blocked. Otten sets it back to Mattil. Quick play on the quick over the middle to Alexis Mattil. That was all on Amanda Otten speeding that play up and not allowing Wright State to get back in a defensive position.
That was a great sneaky set there by Amanda Otten. Just a quick low pop-up, and Alexis Mattil knew what to do, lacing that one in.
Yakabuchi. Bransfield sends it long, but off the hands. 19-18, Bowling Green on top. Same amount of kills for both sides, but the Falcons with 4 less errors in 5 less attempts. Lauby to Otten. Otten set it to Tyler. Tyler cross-court attack on the back row, and it will land 20-18.
And Mia Tyler, for the second straight day in a row, leading the team in kills with 11, and even it's just been a dominant day for her.
11 for Tyler, 9 for Hovey, 8 for Mattil, 3 for Andrews Newblatt and Otten, 1 for Madia Tabak, and 4 for Edita Vaswavchik. Blocked by the Falcons. They'll have to recenter. Yakabuchi sets across to Iro. Iro looking back. Avery Anders, athletic play, but can't get it to stay in the air long enough. 20-19. You know, we see a lot of consistency out of the 2 freshmen, mainly from Sydney Hernandez. Coach Del Piombo said she's a consistent player yesterday in our post-game interview that we should have again today. But Avery Anders, I think, has great upside. While not as clean as Hernandez, she's got a lot of athleticism. She knows when to make plays, doesn't make a lot of mental errors either.
I think Hernandez is the perfect libero for the Orange and Brown. She is one of those players that is so solid and unshakable, whereas Anders, you're right, she has a higher athletic upside.
Another attack, essentially a free play for the Falcons. Anders bump set across to Vaswavchik, knocked down! Edita Vaswavchik, 5th kill of the game. She's been electric for the Falcons in only her 2 sets played. And she will force a timeout to be taken by Wright State, as she did for the first timeout taken by Traverse Green in this set. We'll take a step back as the sets are tied 1-1, but the Falcons lead in this third, 22-19. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
To listen to replays of recent Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts, tune in to WBGU 88.1 FM every weekday morning from midnight to 3 a.m.
(22-19). Vaswavchik forces another timeout with her kill, her 5th of the game on 8 attempts. She's got a solo block as well. She's been great for the Falcons. Sydney Hernandez has as well, an ace, 11 digs, and 5 assists in this game. Not a whole lot bad to say about the way that Sydney Hernandez has played. Yakabuchi to Salco. Salco's blocked at the line by Hovey and Mattil. Off the block, out of play, a kill for Wright State. (22-20). The Falcons nearing putting this set away, which would be a big one to take. Wright State's a pretty good team. Vaswavchik, bump set from Hovey, just a little bit deep. Otten keeps it up, and miscommunication. That one, the receiving end was Vaswavchik, and that'll send the closing in point back to Wright State. It's only a 1-point game now.
Communication error just plaguing again, as Edita Vaswavchik unable to pick that ball up. She redeems herself, though, on this receive.
Andrews, since this one tries to go off the hands, but she sends it just wide, and it's tied back up at 22 as Daniela Tomic will take another timeout. We will take it with her, bring you back in a few moments. You are listening to Bowling Green Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
BGSU hockey takes on the number 15 ranked Minnesota State Mavericks on Saturday, December 7th. The Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call from Mankato starting at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on Falcon Radio.
Tie game now here in the Stroh Center, 22-22. Bowling Green and Wright State. The first to 25 win by 3. And the winner will take a set lead here as it's locked down 1-1 in sets. Ben Korak here with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. Otten sets back to Hovey. Hovey with a rip. Aero directs it out of play. 23-22. Falcons have a lead off of the attack from Lauren Hovey. And like clockwork, as soon as you get inside that 20-point mark, Lauren Hovey's the one you go to.
Ben, that needs to happen if you're Bowling Green. You have to go through Lauren Hovey for these next 2 points. She is the most reliable offensive weapon, and she's only a kill behind Mia Tyler. You know that her placements are going to be just a bit tighter than Tyler's.
Ott with another rip down the seam. Nobody there for the Falcons. 23-23. They need to take 2 in a row to put it away in regulation. If not, we're going to go to extras. But Riley Zagunis has the ball in her hands. Serves the Falcons. Vaswavchik to Otten. Otten tries to throw it in. Is kept up by Wright State. The dump play will be back over to the Falcons. Hernandez. Back set to Andrews. On the slide. Falls in. 24-23. Set point for Bowling Green as Mia Tyler and Belle Lauby check back in for Vaswavchik and Avery Anders.
This is big. Falcons get the serve. As you mentioned, Lauby, 6 aces to 12 errors on the day. On top of that, if you've got the ball in your hands, this is what you want if you're Bowling Green.
Lauby for the serve. And it falls in. Service ace for Belle Lauby. Puts away the set. 25-23. Bowling Green on top in sets 2-1. And finishing that one off with a lead. We'll take a step back as the ladies switch sides. We'll bring you back in a few moments. You're listening to the NIVC Super 16 round between Wright State and Bowling Green on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network is finally back on the road with BGSU hockey. Make sure to catch the voice of Falcon hockey, Ben Korak, on the call for every BGSU game this season on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For far too long, animals on farms and ranches were not afforded protections to ensure their humane treatment and care. Luckily, times have changed, and more farmers are raising their animals in accordance with the American Humane science-based standards, which offer ethically driven consumers humanely raised products. The next time you're in the grocery store, be sure to choose foods that are American Humane certified. To learn more, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Fresh scoreboard for Bowling Green and Wright State as the Falcons lead 2-1. Ben Korak here with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network for BGSU sports news and updates, including everything BG Volleyball. Go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter, and check out our YouTube channel where we post highlight packages and other video content, including our FMSN rebroadcasts on BG Falcon Media YouTube channel. Go give it a follow and give our videos a like when you view them as well. Chaz, it was a struggle bus second set, but the first and the third were very clean. 20 kills and 16 kills apiece for the Falcons. Only 4 errors combined through those bookend 2 sets. Very solid performances from the Falcons to turn it back around. And what are you looking for them to do going into this third to come away with a 4-set victory?
I think if you're Bowling Green, you have to maintain your offensive efficiency. They did a very good job. They're a little bit less kills than before, 16 kills, 500 hitting percentage, lower than their 581 in the first set. But the Falcons had 9 kills and 9 errors in the second set. That was just a bad draw. And I think Wright State is a very serviceable team. They are very good. Don't underestimate this squad. The Raiders are here to play. They nearly snapped that third set from you, got 2 in a row. You managed to pull it out. End it here if you're the orange and brown.
And talk about efficiency and consistency from Wright State. 12 kills, 3 errors in the first. 11 kills, 3 errors in the second. Essentially the same. And in the third, they had a little bit more errors, but they had way more kills. 16 kills to 5 errors for a 314 hitting percentage. They've been above 300 hitting percentage all 3 sets, whereas the Falcons have had a 500-plus hitting percentage the first and the third, but a 0 in that second, which is tanking the hitting percentage for the Falcons just a little bit. They're pretty similar offensively, based on efficiency at least. 326 for Wright State, 344 for BG. 3 aces to 4 aces. Bowling Green trailing by 1. Total blocks within 1 as well. The digs are within 1. The ratio of aces to errors is pretty dissimilar. The Falcons with 1 less ace and 6 more errors. But it's been pretty tight. And especially the consistency from Wright State is really what's been keeping them in this game against Bowling Green.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing. You'd like to see the serve game step up a little bit better and see them lock in just a bit more with that aspect. I mean, you had such a good game yesterday.
It was a great game yesterday against Binghamton. 4-set victory. Sam Ott serves now. Across, Tyler with a rip into the donut.
I mean, it felt like there should have been somebody there, quite frankly.
It did.
That was a play where there wasn't much velocity on the ball, but just enough to where it felt like the attack by Tyler was specific towards somebody, but no, she just went straight for that campfire and there was nobody there. Falcons take the 1-0 advantage.
When they're attacking strong, they put so much pressure on other teams blocking. You have to block because if you leave it open, they're going to get a kill almost every single time. Hovey with this one, spinning it in off speed, won't land. Aero with, oh, what a strike from Aero, and Hernandez and Anders Clyde on the receiving end of that play, 1-1. They're both okay.
And I think that's the big thing here if you're Bowling Green. There was a massive opportunity that happened with this team, and the fact that you get to see a lot of players that you don't normally see. There's a big adjustment there, and they're doing a good job kind of weathering the storm so far in this match.
Vaslavchik misreceives, but will stay in the game, so some trust coming from Daniela Tomic and the Falcon coaching staff of Coach Allie Cook and Coach Alex Del Piombo, as well as the Director of Operations, Sean Drexel, who doubles as a coach. The attack is blocked, and that's Riley's Zagunis. Go, 3-1. Wright State leads early in this 4th set. They need to take it. Their season is on the line. If they lose this set, they're done for the year. Otten to Mattil. Mattil tries to poke it in. It won't fall. It looked like 2 players hit it, but they'll convert. And Hernandez on the back row can't settle this one down. She's already surpassed her dig total from she's closing in on her dig total from yesterday. She got 12, 13 yesterday. That one, a bad reception.
This is what Wright State really needs. Bowling Green playing off kilter right now, and Wright State weathering the storm of their attacks very solidly.
Oh, kick save by Mattil, but it couldn't get to Hovey and an attackable chance. And it'll fall in. Almost a great play by Mattil. And Daniela Tomic will take a timeout really early in this 4th set. 5-1, Wright State over Bowling Green. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
The Bowling Green Falcons looking to settle themselves down after talking over with their coaching staff. They trail by 4 early.
This is a tough break for Wright State, or for Bowling Green, excuse me. Wright State up 5-1. This is what they need to do. They've had this tough momentum going through this match.
Vaswavchik keeps it up. Otten back to Vaswavchik. Off the hands, can't fall in. Yakabuchi does a good job of keeping it up, but Salco has to dump it over. Otten sets it back to Hovey. Hovey with a rip, and it's kept up by Salco, and it'll be dumped over again by Wright State. Otten will get under it. Back set again to Hovey. Blocked. Anders keeps it up. Back to the Falcons. Otten back to Hovey. Hovey tries to tumble it in. Finally, on 3 attacks, she gets it done.
It's going to be a point at a time. Coach Tomic already burning one of her only 2 timeouts remaining in this set.
5-2 now, the Falcons trail. Almost an overpass. Vaswavchik looking over, keeps this one up as it goes off the tape, falls. Hovey now near side. Yakabuchi has to handle, and an attack by Salco goes just into the net.
And quite frankly, that's what Bowling Green needed. They made a lot of mistakes early on in that match, in that set, excuse me. And now there's an error for Wright State, so picking up right where they left off, no pun intended.
Mattil serving over. Mori to Yakabuchi. Oh, what a play by Lauren Yakabuchi. The back set across the net falls in tight with the net on the Falcon side. Nobody there to save it.
I mean, that was just a really good play there by Yakabuchi.
Fantastic play. Anders receives on the serve. Otten back to Vaswavchik. Vaswavchik high off the hands, rip. The dig is perfect. Back across. Zagunis can't get it to land. Otten quick over the middle to Andrews, and Andrews gets it to fall. Six to 4 now, Wright State. The Raiders coming out of Dayton, Ohio, up here in Bowling Green. A short trip compared to Binghamton's from yesterday, all the way from New York. Hovey dives it in, no ace, but they have to dump it back over. Otten to Vaswavchik, and Vaswavchik is blocked by Zagunis and Aero. Seven to 4, Wright State. Aero behind the line. It's it with the right hand, floating over. Otten. Back set to Andrews. Andrews just tips it in. Shotiness from Jessica Andrews, and she gets it to fall. 7 to 5. The Falcons only trail by 2.
And I really think that's the key here. If you're Bowling Green, it's all about soft touch right now. They went with power. Power didn't end up working. You got to see if you can get them with the softer attack.
Bell Laube for the serve for the Falcons now with the right hand. Across, and the point will go to Wright State as they push it off the side of the hands of the Falcon blockers. They take a 3-point lead now. And another new player in for Wright State. This is Andrea Bordelin. Otten set across to Tyler from downtown, goes off the block. Yakabuchi across. This one's a rip, and it's long. Elena Dubuk.
And that's what Bowling Green has now continued to do. It's 8-6. You need 2 here. Sydney Hernandez at the stripe. She's very good from the service line. You gotta, even if you don't get an ace here, one thing Wright State has done well all game has been receiving. You have to catch them off guard with your serve.
Yakabuchi again tries to push it along the line, but it won't land. Tyler with an attack, and she puts it perfectly placed between a couple of defenders.
I mean, you couldn't sew a needle that precise with how well that weaved its way in between 3 different Wright State defenders. What a play by Mia Tyler.
Hernandez serves. Yakabuchi to Bransfield. Bransfield won't land it. Now Mattil will on the other side. Shooting down the line, ties the game up at 8.
Now you can tell there's momentum building here on the Falcons side. 3rd straight serve here for Sydney Hernandez.
Right hand floating over. In the air from Dubuk. Can't fall in. Set from Otten into Tyler. Diving play to keep it alive by Wright State. Ott with hers, it won't fall. Otten goes to the back corner. Perfect from Amanda Otten on the second touch attack.
I think that's the 4th straight time they've attacked that back left corner, and it's been working very well. That might be something that Wright State, that might be their Achilles heel right now.
And that might be something they're going to talk over in their first time out of the 4th set. 9-8, the Falcons lead 2 sets to 1. And the NIVC Super 16. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
BGSU Hockey travels north to Mankato to battle Minnesota State on Friday, December 6th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call starting at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM.
9-8, the Falcons lead, and some back row problems happening from Wright State that they look to remedy coming out of this timeout by Travis Green in his 3rd season with Wright State. The previous associate coach is Mississippi State and an assistant coach at Southern Florida and Florida International University. Florida native himself, graduated from, again, Florida State in 2008. Rejected by Alexis Mattil on the attack by Elena Dubuk.
This is step on the gas point for Bowling Green.
Hernandez serves, just tips it on the tape. Beautiful serve. This attack from Ott goes off of the blockers and falls down.
We need to have a conversation about Ott. She's been doing great. 14 kills. She had 4 errors to open the day and really hasn't made any more mistakes. 333 hitting percentage. She's also got 7 digs. She's got a block and an ace on top of 1 service error.
Lauby to Otten. Otten to Tyler. Tyler's strike is kept up by Mori. Yakabuchi sets it up, but it won't land. Mattil gets the ball up. Otten to Hovey. Hovey with a deep attack, and it goes into the bottom of the net off of the strike from the junior opposite hitter for the Falcons. Ties the game up at 10. Katie Salco, Horizon League freshman team this season. Yakabuchi blocked by Mia Tyler over the middle. 11-10, Bowling Green on top with some pretty supreme blocking as of the last couple of minutes.
I have to say, we don't mention this a lot. Tyler and I did, Tyler Kavalitz with baseball. They do the walk-up songs. The service line songs are also very good. And Hooked on a Feeling for Amanda Otten, now and always, is a banger.
Off the block, Otten to a bump set from Hernandez to Hovey. Hovey is kept up. A good dig from Aero to keep it alive. Otten kept up by Lauby and an attack on the breaking end of that one. That was Taylor Bransfield. Player we haven't seen in this game that I was kind of expecting to be honest, is Haley Robinson, a freshman out of Orange Park, Florida. Played a lot recently, hasn't played yet in this game for Wright State. It's attack from Hovey, and what else is new? Misreception that she forces a lot. Diving away from the play was the libero, Jenny Morey. She collided in with a couple of players in the bench. Actually, it was Riley Zagunis that kind of caught her before she slid out into the locker room. And she's back on the court, and she's okay.
It's
always good to see.
I believe that was a forehead to knee situation.
Possibly,
which,
yes.
I mean, yeah, actually, I can confirm that now. You can see as she is rubbing her forehead, Morey.
Anders, oh, with an ace, Avery Anders. Hernandez has an ace, Laube has an ace, and now Avery Anders rounds out the defensive specialists, or the Nugget crew as they like to call them, with the aces.
More like Ace-Avery Anders.
Bransfield knocks this in. Hovey to Hernandez to Vaswavchik. Goes high off the hands and out of play.
Yeah, you're welcome. You know, Ben, I don't know how many more games we're going to call together for BG Volleyball, but, man, I'm glad I could get that one out of my toolbox.
Ace-Free Anders. Serve again from Ace-Free Anders. Digs this one out. Beautiful play by Ace-Free Anders. Now across to Hovey. Hovey with a rip and puts that one right through. Off of the hands. 15-11. The Falcons lead. Last time we'll say it, Ace-Free Anders behind the stripe now for the Falcons. Has one and an error in this game.
Unless she makes it here.
Oh, and an error. One ace, two errors.
Ben, you did
Anders.
that. I think you did
I did
that.
not do that. Don't put that juju on me, Jess.
You called her Ace-Free Anders. I mean.
Oh, I did? You started it.
Okay, no finger pointing as we will have a serve over. 15-12 is our score.
Back across. Hovey goes off the block. Oh, my gosh. Consistency, Lauren Hovey. 14 kills on 35 attempts. Only 4 aces. She's around 300 hitting percentage.
War of attrition starting to begin, as you can tell Wright State's beginning to look a little gassed here.
Mattil, 16 serving 12. Yakubuchi sets up Zagunis, who can't get it to fall. Otten to Hovey and spins it out and into the media bench. I have the ball in my chest right now, and I need to get a ruling on whether or not that's going to count as
no dig.
No dig?
No
All
dig.
Right,
I will say, if you had caught it,
okay,
it would have been a dig. But you just sat there, and it rolled into your arms.
I made a play on it.
No play.
Aero puts this one perfectly inside the back corner.
Andrew Smith, a fellow beat for volleyball, says that does not count. So I hate to say it.
Well, you guys are just hating because I'm leading in digs on the season.
Ben,
17-3, Bowling Green.
We've got more game to play.
Vaswavchik overpasses an attack from Wright State, but it'll go back. Fake by Andrews. Hovey with another one. Goodness, Lauren Hovey. 16 kills now.
And this is where you start to trust the hot hand. Lauren Hovey crushing it as the Falcons get a dominant 5-point lead, quieting what Wright State fans are in the crowd.
Hovey will go for the serve now. Serves Ott. Yakubuchi sets back to Aero. Blocked by Andrews over the middle.
And we will get a timeout here that will be called by Traverse Green, who's looking a little bit flustered with Bowling Green just 6 away from the Great 8 here in the Stroh Center NIVC tournament.
19-13, Bowling Green on top. As Chaz McNeil said, 6 more to do it. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Wright State back onto the floor. They trail by 6, as with 6 more, the Falcons can put away this match and advance to the Great 8 of the National Invitational Volleyball Championship. That's what you're listening to, Bowling Green versus Wright State. Ben Korak here with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Hovey serves over, Mori to Yagabuchi to Zagunis, and Zagunis sends it wide on the third touch. 20-13, the Falcons are now closer to winning the match than Wright State is to tying the Falcons.
Timeouts depleted. Wright State on what could be their last breath of the season.
Hovey left hands it. Yagabuchi sets up, back row attack from Ott, and Avery Anders digs it out, keeps the play alive. Poke in from Zagunis. Otten bump set to Vaswavchik, goes not off the hands, just wide. That one was close. It didn't touch any of the fingertips. 20-14 now. The lead is back down to 6 for the Falcons.
2014 is the score. A great year.
Otten, back set. Andrews on the slide, blocked, kept up. Andrews has the bump set to Vaswavchik, kept up by Aero. Now Yagabuchi, and is misreceived by the Falcons, and it goes out of play. 20-15 now. The Falcons lead by 5, and now it's back out to Wright State 5 away from Bowling Green. Bowling Green 5 away from taking the match.
Wright State not to be counted out just yet.
Otten, back set. Andrews on the slide, and off the block and out of play. Closing in on that right antenna as Tyler and Lauby check into the game for Anders and Vaswavchik. 21-15. Bell Lauby has an ace in this game, along with Hernandez and Anders, all of the defensive specialist position. Yagabuchi sets back. DeBook can't get it to fall. Set way across from Hovey. Mia Tyler, it'll be a back row bump set, and it'll be a dump play from Wright State. Hovey set. Otten set. Andrews didn't get a full swing on it. Now across to Ott. Is kept up. Bump set from Lauby. Mia Tyler with a rip, and it won't fall. Back across to Ott. Ott with a full swing. Now sends it wide. 22-15. Bowling Green takes another point.
And Ben, with it looking like the Falcons are looming on going to the Great 8, Toledo and DePaul currently going at it to face off against Omaha in the next couple of days. Right now, DePaul took the first set 25-20. Toledo hanging in there. It's 16-15 in the second set. This match started at 8 o'clock, so it will not be over till about 9:30 at the earliest.
The Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview of the next match that Bowling Green plays. It will either be against the winner of DePaul-Toledo and Omaha. It'll be the winner of the winner against DePaul and Toledo versus Omaha. That's who they will play in the Great 8 if they make it. They're still 3 points away. Wright State chasing by 7.
The winner of the Toledo-DePaul match.
The winner of the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to describe. DePaul and Toledo, if they win, whoever wins that game plays Omaha. Whoever wins between that game and Omaha will play Bowling Green in the Great 8.
We'll have to apologize. It's been a long week. A little sleep deprivation.
I do like the Falcons' chances against whoever wins between DePaul and Toledo and Omaha. They beat both Toledo and DePaul. Toledo in a reverse sweep, and then a pretty sizable victory over Toledo later in the season in their Tuesday matchups. DePaul they beat pretty good in Chicago in their home arena. DePaul finished 19-13. Omaha is only a 16-12 team and is one of the bottom seeds in this side of the bracket for Bowling Green. So
and
looks like pretty solid chance that they advance to the 4.
Well, that's the interesting thing, because if you go even further than that, Virginia will play on the 8th. That's a long ways to go, but look at the rest of these teams. NC A&T, St. John's, East Carolina, Winthrop, Mercer, UConn. UConn and Virginia are really the only 2 teams on that bottom part of the bracket that they'd meet in the Fab Four that I really believe would punch Bowling Green in the mouth. Lindenwood had a shot, but they lost to Omaha earlier today.
Bell Laube for the serve, 22 serving 15. Eiro Yagabuchi sets up Zagunis over the middle, blocked by Jessica Andrews. 23-15, approaching the end of what is probably going to be the home season for Bowling Green. I don't think we're going to get another home match unless the NIVC gods pray heavily upon the Falcons. Laube serves again. Maury can't really handle it. Sam Ott sends it long. Laube digs it out. Otten force set to Tyler. Tyler tries to poke it in. A diving play keeps it alive. Now Dubuk with one, and it won't land. Otten set again to Tyler. Tyler with a rip, and it falls on the side. 24-15. Bell Laube with the service edge she had to put away the 5-set Ohio match and win the MAC regular season championship for Bowling Green with a point here. The Falcons win the match and advance to the Grade 8 of the National Invitational Volleyball Championship. And the service goes long, so we'll turn it back over.
Commentator's curse, I don't know.
If the Falcons win this game, as it's looking pretty good, it's gonna be the first time since 1992 in which they advanced past the second round in a postseason tournament. Laube digs, Otten set to Tyler. Tyler rip and blocks and falls down. There's a good block by Dubuk and Bransfield. 24-7, still match point for Bowling Green. The service will be Andrea Bordolin. She serves long. The Falcons take the match on a service error by Wright State. They will advance to the Grade 8 against either DePaul, Toledo, or Omaha. Already the best run in the postseason since 1992 for the Falcons. One more win, and it's the best run in the postseason in the history of Bowling Green volleyball. We'll take a step back, bring you back in a few minutes with an interview with Associate Coach Alex Del Piombo. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
Getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like that family movie night your daughter can't live without. Yeah, can't do that. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
BGSU men's basketball returns to the Stroh Center to battle Morgan State on Saturday, December 7th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Artie Abrego and Carter Leonard on the call at 1:45 for pregame and 2 p.m. for tip-off on Falcon Radio.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Stroh Center, Bowling Green defeats Wright State in 4 sets, 25-17, the final score here in the 4th set. Ben Korak here with Associate Coach Alex Del Piombo for our post-game interview. So, Coach, it was a up-and-down game, especially that second set. What were your overall thoughts on how the girls played tonight?
Yeah, I thought we played better than last night, which is exciting. We just, in the second set, made a lot of errors, a lot of unforced errors, and I don't think that we made them earn it as much as we did in the other sets, and that's a big piece of volleyball. Make your opponent earn it. Clean teams win, and we bounced back in the next set, 16 kills, 2 errors, hit 500, and got back control of the match.
Yeah. What did you see in that second set that kind of drove you? I mean, just looking at the stats, 9 kills, 9 errors, 0 hitting percentage, no blocks, no aces in that set, not a whole lot of offense. What did you see in that one, and then what did you change going into that third to turn it around?
Well, we were just out of system, and then when we were out of system, we were making poor decisions. So we knew that we were capable. It just was going back into what was working, and that was attacking and making sure we got them out of system and going back to being a team that was competing hard.
Part of that system that we saw a couple of different looks. Madia got in the game there for a minute.
Yeah.
Edita, I think, played a very good game today. You can disagree with that, but some different looks. We saw Lauren play more of a setter role where she didn't get a whole lot of true setting chances, but we saw some different looks. How did you feel that out of system played across the entire game, not just in that second set?
Yeah, I think our team, as the year's gone on, we've gotten more adaptable, and we see in practice, the fans don't always see what we see in practice, and Lauren can step back into setting like it's riding a bike. It's so impressive how good she is at it. And Madia has been training so hard every day. She's tearing up our blockers in practice. So we thought if we can't get a side out in a 2-hitter, let's find a creative solution, and that's what it was today. We just weren't passing well enough to let it work.
Yeah, and then in the serve game as well, yesterday we might have jinxed it by talking about how good it was. 10 aces, 7 errors today, 4 aces to 12 errors. What did you see with your conviction serving today and remedying that going forward?
Yeah, I thought that a big piece of today was they're a better passing team. They're a very, very good passing team. That's what they do well. So when we were trying to put pressure on them and it wasn't working, we were trying to go harder making errors. And then we realized we had to kind of rein that in a little bit. You can hit a seam, at least get them in semi, and then be able to transition it. But wasn't what we wanted, but I thought we made the right serves in the right moments, and that's important in winning a game.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck going into next week and in the rest of the NIVC.
Thank you all for everything.
Of course. We'll take a step back and bring you another short little post game. You're listening to BGVB on WBGU 88.1 FM.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Falcon women's basketball team looks to extend their winning streak to 3 games as they battle Xavier in the Stroh this Saturday, December 7th. Join the Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer and Kaden Knapp on the call at 6:45 on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here in the Stroh Center, Falcons win in 4 sets, replicating what they did earlier in the season against Wright State. They have their number, took both matches this year, this one in the Super 16 of the National Invitational Volleyball Championship. The Falcons advance to the Great 8, the best postseason performance they've put up since the 1992 series. If they win in the Great 8, it will be the best in the history of Bowling Green volleyball. An impressive game today. Especially with how they were able, as we heard from Alex Del Piombo, to remedy that second set situation and come back strong as they were in that first. Jasmine McNeil, how did you feel about the game? What did you see good from the Falcons today?
Well, I think their ability to adjust was great. That first set, They controlled all the momentum. Second set, they did very similarly lose the momentum. It was almost like the exact opposite of what you'd wanted. That third set, they took over. Wright State came a little bit back, but at the end of the day, in that fourth set, this team looked dominant. And with the teams in front of them, I would not be surprised if Bowling Green is fabulous by the end of the week. But I think the overall involvement of all the players was really exciting. You look at that box score, and you've got 14 kills for Mia Tyler. That was second behind Lauren Hovey with 16. You had 9 digs for Amanda Otten, 41 assists, 15 digs, and an ace for Sydney Hernandez. You had 4 blocks for Alexis Mantil, 2 combined blocks for Edita Vaclavchik, who came in relief a little bit for Newblatt. This team is firing at every possible cylinder in what is one of the biggest moments of their season. This is really exciting to watch.
Not to mention freshman Sydney Hernandez stepping into a libero role in only her second game, wearing a different color from the rest of her team and acquiring a career high in digs. 15, the previous record for her was 13. She added an ace and 7 assists. No errors on this game for Sydney Hernandez. She was darn near perfect the entire game. She is a great player for the Falcons, very consistent. As you mentioned, a lot of other players had great days. The one that stands out to me, probably my player of the game, would be Amanda Otten. 4 kills on 7 attempts, 41 assists with 1 ace to 4 errors, but 9 digs as well, closing in on that double-double that she had yesterday. She had a great game today. It was a key for the Falcons to getting back into system, especially coming out of that second period. The Falcons finished with 60 kills, 18 errors, 133 total attempts for a .316 hitting percentage, one of their best of the season in a game. 56 assists as well, with a secondary assist effort by Sydney Hernandez behind Amanda Otten. 4 aces to 12 errors. That was kind of the weak part of the game today, but 45 digs to go along with 8 total blocks and 72 points for the Falcons. They, especially in that third and fourth period, trounced on Wright State. 48 kills, 19 errors, and 121 total attacks for the Raiders with .240 hitting percentage. 46 assists, 5 aces, 5 errors, 44 digs, and 8 total blocks. So they tied in blocks. They won in aces, but they lost in total offense. Wright State played a pretty good game, but it just goes to show the Falcons are one of the most talented teams, I think, that's going to end up in this NIVC.
Hands down, Ben. They have a date coming up with either Omaha, Toledo, or DePaul. As of right now, we will give the score update. Maybe, I don't know, Ben. 27-26 is the current score in the second set. Toledo and DePaul in a dogfight right now.
We'll stick around till we see the end of this set, just to see who has the best chance, if we're going to see a tie game or a 2-set lead for DePaul. So again, the Falcons played very well today, won in 4 sets against the Wright State Raiders, 25-18 in the first. Wright State took the second, 25-13, and the Falcons the next 2, 25-23 and 25-17. Chaz, if you had to choose a player of the game for the Falcons, I already kind of chose mine and Amanda Otten. Who are you going to go with today?
Ben, you're not ready. You're not ready. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Belle Laube. Now let me explain. The defensive specialist position has been absolutely just mixed up. It's like putting a ball under a cup and moving the cups around, like that game. You know what I'm talking about. Belle Laube, even though the stats don't show, she's got 2 assists, an ace, she had an error, and she had 4 digs. The big thing about her performance, she was just as solid as Anders and Hernandez had been all season. It felt like there was no switch, no downgrade in the depth chart. She's a leader, dominant. Now, obviously, Anna had a massive game. Hovey had a very big game. I'm not trying to detract from that at all, but in terms of the impact that she brought in with the role that she was expected, Belle Laube, I think, is the player of the game.
Pretty interesting choice from you, Chaz, but I don't entirely disagree with it. You could take that entire defensive specialist unit for the Falcons today. 26 total digs on the game, with 3 out of the 4 total aces for the Falcons. They also had 11 assists to go along with that as a group, and they played 4 sets apiece for Hernandez and Anders and 3 sets for Belle Laube. So a good group and a good look for the Falcons going into next year, knowing that that's going to be your 3 for defensive specialists, unfortunately without Lindsay LaPinta staying in the lineup from here. So we will get an update in a second about the DePaul and Toledo game.
DePaul won.
DePaul did take the set?
I was sitting on that 28 to 26.
28-26. So DePaul is a 2-set lead now.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it was funny. It was almost exactly when you said, we'll come back to that score. Bang, DePaul.
Yeah.
They managed to knock it out. So DePaul, 2-set lead over Toledo. Kind of interesting. Toledo getting into the tournament regardless. They were the 6th seed. They barely made it into the MAC tournament. I am assuming barely made it into the NIVC. But now DePaul taking care of business. DePaul Omaha for a chance to face the Cardiac Falcons. Even though they didn't really rock many hearts today, they put it away in a pretty solid fashion.
Bowling Green advances to the Great 8. The Falcon Media Sports Network will have the coverage in some form. We're assuming that's going to take place next week, but the rest of the games have to finish first this weekend before we worry about that. Special thank you to the Stroh Center crew and BGVB for allowing us to broadcast this game, and special thank you to Lucas Kleinmeyer and Tyler Kavlitz, who delegate to us the responsibility of broadcasting BGSU volleyball. We think it's the last time we're going to be broadcasting from the Stroh Center this season in 2024. So for all of you that tuned in to listen to home matches of BGVB, thank you so much for tuning in, giving us your listenership. Ben Korak. I'm sorry. I should also shout out Nate Hinners back in the boardroom who board op the game for us. Nate, thank you for taking some time out of your day and board opping this game for us. We really appreciate it, and we'll get you back sometime in the future. Ben Korak here with Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. You're listening to Bowling Green Volleyball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.